Hello, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, please do say hello in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from. I hope you got the view link to join us today. Yeah, I had a few issues with my link, but I've sent out a view link. So if you haven't received that, it's actually in the chat right now. So do pop into the chat and get that view link. And yeah, welcome to Creative Classrooms with AI, safe, purposeful, inspiring, with our fabulous partners, MagicSchool AI. And yes, I happen to be a MagicSchool pioneer as well. I love our shared communities.
My job was at home. I forgot mine.
Yeah, Aaron too. Yeah, so
Hi.
ACE Innovators and yeah, and MagicSchool pioneers all together. And this conversation really started around being a MagicSchool pioneer, and I did some research on Magic Student AI, and I just loved how purposeful it was, and all the guardrails that are in the tool. And yeah, so for me, AI is a bit like the Wild West, and it was kind of like, where's it all going? You know, what's the point? What's the purpose? And yeah, by conducting this research on MagicSchool, Magic Student, and Adobe Express for Education, yeah, I'm really passionate about these tools to unlock student creativity. And that's what we're discussing today. So I've got the wonderful Amber Trout from MagicSchool AI join us today, and my really cool friend, ace innovator of garden leaks, even Aaron Parsons, and he's down in sunny Somerset. So thank you for joining me today. And we've got a few people in the chat. Rome. Oh, wow. Awesome. Jersey. Okay, I'm guessing that's New Jersey or somewhere in the States. Welcome, Alyssa. And welcome, Claire. Thank you for joining me. Oh, Northern Ireland. Brilliant. Okay, so that's how we're going to be. We're going to roll. We're going to Creative Classroom with AI, unlock student creativity. We want you talking in the chat, discussing this, and yeah, this get some ideas, sharing. When we do some demos, remember to go back and do it yourself and push all the buttons, because there's just so much in there that I probably will skip over and miss. So yeah, this is a tool that you learn by play. So yeah, remember that as well. Right. Moving on to this. Okay. So as mentioned, there's our folks who's joining us today. And now over to you, Amber, to talk a little bit about Magic AI in the classroom.
Yeah, so happy to be here. Amber Trout, and I'm the Senior Community Manager at MagicSchool, but a former educator of 11 years. So know that there is a lot of things that are happening within a classroom. And of course, AI is the new thing, right? Being able to utilize it within your classrooms or in education and making sure that it's safe and secure. As Sean mentioned, I've always said that, you know, AI and the LLMs of the world is like the wild, wild west. You can just do whatever you want and things happen all the time and stuff is moving fast. But how is that actually keeping you safe, keeping students safe, and making sure that it's a secure platform for just K through 12 education, right? So AI is going to be something that we are passionate about when it comes to educators, and MagicSchool is building it with not only teachers in mind, but also students in mind. So making sure that students know that AI is going to look different in different platforms because we're utilizing it in a way that's going to be more of a helper, a guidance, a thought partner, not an answer generator. And then also it's developing that AI literacy, because when you're utilizing it through a tool that's going to guide you the way that it's appropriate and the best way to use AI, makes it a whole lot easier for students to see the value in it. And so we're teaching them those things through the platform. We have all sorts of different customized rooms for AI literacy, but also it's just a way that they're engaging with it to kind of see the abilities that it has. It's also focusing on enhancing and not replacing that human teaching. I just went into a classroom last week to do career day at my son's school. And that was the one thing I mentioned when I said about Magic Student. I said, this will never, ever, ever and nobody should ever say this, replace a teacher, because it will not. The teacher has the connections, has the human interaction, and knows what a student needs. This is just guiding and supporting them through the AI functionality in Magic School. So don't ever think that will be non-existent, because it's not true.
Yeah, 100%. And that's such a powerful thing about Magic Student AI, isn't it, Aaron? The moderated chat that really come up for me. And within that chat, I heard educators say how they could just see where the student's at and just, learn what they need, really. And obviously it's got the flags as well and the safety in mind. So I've got another slide here, Amber. Did you want me to move on to another slide?
I was going to call out one other thing, but yes, I'll go. I'm going to go to this as well. I just wanted to also note that the input and output is seen by the teacher. So when you're putting it into a student to a Magic student room, you're never going to not know what they're saying. Like regular chat GPTs and Geminis, you may not see that input output, and you don't know exactly what the students are asking or how you can support them if they're having misconceptions in those chats. And so that's an important thing to note, is that you as the teacher have access to all input and output and how you can support students, as well as those moderation flags where you're like, hey, something's happening in here, I can address it now. So with that all in mind, we have built it in a way that makes it super easy and secure for teachers and students. So I always love this graphic because it gives you like an understanding of like what we've done to put these different layers in place. So at the bottom there, that's the wild, wild west of LLMs, okay? That's the ChatGPTs, the Claudes, the Geminis of the world. And of course, they're open for any and all, and they're not going to be specializing in K through 12 education in any way, shape, or form. It's just kind of a random overall robot. So you need something to build that safety and trust. So we went in and we said, okay, we're going to build this all in so that there's privacy, security, safety. We're taking COPA and FERPA into, of course, consideration and building that layer in on top of these LLMs that we're using in the background. But then the best part about Magic School and everything that makes it great and amazing is that we've pre-prompted tools for teachers. Sometimes the prompting in general can be the hardest part. Like, what do I say to get exactly what I'm looking for? Especially in like a chat GPT where you're like, I keep iterating and it never gives me what I'm looking for. And so we have made it so that these tools are pre-prompted for specific things within a classroom, lesson plans, behavior management, anything that you would be doing. And we pre-prompt that so that you can have the ability to make sure that it's getting you exactly what you need, grade-wise and all. So
can I jump in there? Educators, it's created by educators basically, isn't it? And that's what another awesome thing about Magic School AI. It's created by educators, and you listen to educators as well. And and definitely, and the great thing about Adobe Express for education and is a lot of educators are demoing these tools and sharing the best practice around these tools, and the integration together is awesome.
Yeah, that's how we built it safe and secure. Just all the layers.
Fab. Did you have something, Aaron?
No, I was just going to say it's that's sort of the specific tools to help with the prompting. I'll talk a bit more about it in a minute, but just the moderation bit is great. Being able to see what they're putting in. It's not like, oh, well, what did you do? So, I didn't do it. So, well, now I can see what happened in here. So that's really, really useful. And just the way it's built with educators in mind as well. It's so helpful. Just the teacher tools have saved me hours of time where I've used those for different things. And having a tool for a specific purpose just saves time in not having to craft a prompt that includes everything, and that you can sort of focus a little bit more on what you want. So there's a kind of almost a behind the scenes time save in that as well.
Yeah, that's fair. And just in the chat, I noticed some folk from sort of around, it's quite local to us, Northern Ireland, Channel Islands. Are any of you using Magic School? Because I know it's huge in the States, and slowly growing it here in the UK and internationally. Well, still huge internationally, but in the UK in particular. Yeah, just love to know if you're using it here. Okay, with that said, I'll just move on to the so Adobe Express for Education. So, and in particular, Firefly built into Magic School AI to create images. And also it has those guardrails in place. It's been trained safely. Admins can turn off the AI features for schools or on, depending if they want to use it with their students. But it's all been safely tested. And yeah, and another awesome thing about it is it's not trained on student or teacher data. We've paid creatives for their work. We use stock images, so everything is really authentic and paid for. And yeah, you don't have to worry about any plagiarism. So it really gives students an opportunity to just have a safe playground where they don't have to worry about these extra pressures, or their teachers in particular don't have to. And yeah, and we have the design content credentials. So when they do share an image, wherever it has been shared, you can track where that was created, and that's a really fabulous thing to train students on, actually, these content credentials, because it really can tell you whether something's fake or real, really. So yeah, it's an incredible tool to be built in within Adobe Firefly. And yeah, and I think right from the start, the get-go, Adobe had this plan in mind, really, and I think it was really good future thinking to think, yeah, we're not gonna train this on any old data, and we're gonna make it safe and secure, and we're gonna make it traceable. So yeah, I think that was a really good move on their part. So moving on. So within Firefly, obviously, you can just create your prompts, but I've been trying to get students and folk I've been training to be a bit more purposeful around their prompting, because as you know, you might have heard that, yeah, prompting can use a lot of energy. And yeah, so as well as being purposeful, I want them to sort of think about sort of the ethical and the environmental considerations, just to sort of train the future us, really, because they're going to be using these tools a lot more than us. And in time, there'll be processes in place, no doubt. But I think with this built in already, it's a really good thing to start sharing with your students. So if you use a composition reference, it will use that layout, and it will do it very similar. And I'm going to do a demo on that in a second. And the same with the style. If you add a style reference, it will use some of the colors and the palette. And that's a really good tool if you wanted to, for example, recreate something in your school colors, so for your branding. So that's a really, really awesome little tool there. And for inspo, we're going to go over to one of my colleagues, Sean McLaughlin, and she's created this awesome resource for prompting. And yeah, she's got a very simple formula: SBS, subject, background, style. So pop quiz, if you remember that at the end, tag Shell in LinkedIn or whatever socials you're on. I'm sure she'll be very pleased. Because she pop quizzed me at a conference the other day. And yeah, it's quite simple: the subject, the background, and the style. So for example, 3D render or photorealistic. And just that simple start will really help hone your students' prompting skills and yours. But the main thing is just let your students sort of go in and play around really with it, with the different prompts. So that being said, I'm going to move over. Just check my next slide. That's Aaron. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go back to that in a sec. 1 second, Aaron. Let's go back one. That's you, isn't it? I'm just going to do a quick demo on MagicSchool, Adobe Express in MagicSchool AI. And for example, what I shared earlier, here is Amber. Here is Shell's prompt inspo. So if I go in here, so as you see, she's got the subject, the background, and the style there. So the style is surrealist, and the subject is a girl with a child with curly hair and glasses. So, right, I've used that for my prompt. And do go in and get this resource from Shell. It's a really awesome resource. So here we should be within the MagicSchool AI generator. Okay. And I always love this. So that I've found this within the teacher tools, in the hot tools. So I'm going to click on generate image, and it's linked to my account. So it'll open up, integrated in. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm also really excited about the fact that not only can you type in a prompt and be able to get what you're looking for through Adobe Express, you can upload reference images. And so before I know I uploaded my dogs because I wanted to build something with my dogs. And it was like really cool to be able to like create this like custom graphic through Adobe Express using my dogs as the reference image and like bears behind them. Like it was just all very interesting and cool. So use reference images if you want to as well. Like those are great.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was that's what I was alluding to, and I'm going to demo that now. So yeah, and in terms of so that led you straight to exactly what you wanted, didn't it? You know, a lot quicker than just prompting. And I know these days, I mean, I use the AI a lot to come up with a prompt or improve my prompt, because it's very good at that too. And actually there's tools built within MagicSchool, I believe, that rewrite and improve things. So my prompt, I've got a snowman prompt because that's what we're going to be doing later. And I'm just going to add that in. My snowman, here he is. And the style is a surrealist, and it's going to be a snowman. And the pro tip, I'm going to add it to a plain white background, so then I can easily use the background remover. Now, as well as style and composition references, you can also explore these movements, different movements. There's a ton of stuff you can do in here, effects and movement and techniques and concepts. There's all sorts. You can really play around in here, and you can have auto and different settings. But I was pretty pleased with the results that I got earlier just on this art setting. So I'm going to go in and add this. But I'm just going to generate this one quickly. And this came out a bit like The Nightmare from Christmas earlier, or A Nightmare at Christmas rather, which is a decent movie. Yeah, similar. It looks like that, doesn't it, a bit? What do you think? And then, so from there, I'm just going to start, right, okay, that's pretty cool. I really like that, actually. And if I was to, I could save that to MagicSchool now and then start editing. But let's just try, and actually I've not tried this. I've tried this in straight from Adobe. But let's give it from here. I saved some snowmen from earlier. So my style, I want to go for this snowman here. It's going to change him a lot, isn't it? That's a happy snowman. And I've gone for a composition that I tried to put in London or UK, and it's kind of found a field or something. So we'll just give it a go. Okay, and I'm going to put those in there. Okay, another thing you can do here is adjust the size, different sizes here. So depending on where you want it to land. So let's just try that. I've added a style and a composition. And as mentioned, you know, if you wanted to add your colors of your score, your favorite colors, that'd be a good one to use. And composition, was your dogs in the composition, Amber? And it got the shapes of them really well. And
yeah, I mean, I just added them straight in as the style. I actually think I used them as like the background image. I was like, okay, now add bears in the background. Like I just kind of went rogue.
Nice. Right, let's give this a go. I'm going rogue with this one. So we all know. Oh, very cool. Thank you, LinkedIn user. Oh, hi Padma. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Let's add that to the. I can do that. Very cool. Thank you. Oh, okay. I kind of like that. It's still surreal, isn't it? It's still surreal. And as you can see, it's got that tree in there. And Padma, you were with Shell the other evening. I'm getting all my pro tips of Shell from just the other evening. So, and yeah, it's really just completely recreated that snowman exactly the same. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? And all these images I found on Adobe Stock for free. They're all licensed. They're all been paid for. So Yeah, really cool. Right. Let's go back to his. Okay, Aaron, I'm going to have a break and I'm going to hand it over to you, my friend. And yeah, tell me when to advance the slides, all right?
Yep. Right. So I'll say I'm Aaron. I'm the CAL, or the head of computing and ICT at the Way Valley here in Dorset. And one of the things that is really sort of a passion and important to me is that students understand how to use all these new and developing technologies. And AI is certainly the one that's right at the front of everything. And MagicSchool has sort of been my tool of choice, in part because of all the guide rails that Amber mentioned earlier, and that being able to see what they're typing and the moderation, how it will automatically sort of flag and reframe prompts when the students write them if it thinks it's outside an age limit that's been set, which is something else you can do in the student rooms. You can set the grade or the year level for the responses that you want from students, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So there's one of our units of work that we do looking at programming, specifically like selection, that sort of if-else part of programming. It is I have my students make interactive sort of text-based adventure games, or we use that as the kind of the starting point for it. And we take these, and this year we're putting these into Minecraft Education. But the key thing with this is the story that they're going to generate using the AI prompt. So what you can see on your screens is an excerpt from the workbook that my students have, with a bit of a brief at the top about what they've got to do. And then there are the two boxes at the bottom, which is where they're setting out the target audience for their story, who it's for, what impact that might have, and then all of the details. And that's the basis for their prompt. So very much like the SBS model that was there for the images, we use that as setting who it's for, first of all, what it is. So it asks them to create an interactive story. So they need to tell that, and the tool, which you'll see running in a minute, I made a custom tool on student rooms, which has gone out to all of my students, which tells it exactly what they're trying to make. But it still requires the prompt. So they'll tell it that it's a text-based adventure game. They'll list it, what rooms it's got to go in. They can give all the specific details, characters, where they want to go. Are they escaping from the school? Are they looking for something? They can name the specific classrooms. And if they don't quite hit that right in the prompt, the tool will say, all right, well, what about this? Name the different tools. So they'll write that all out here first. And if they've done it right, they could just copy and paste it over to MagicSchool and use the tool on there from the student room, which they've all got sort of one set up for them. And it will run. And if it's right, they'll get all the content. If it's not, then they'll have to just reframe it or add it in, or just remind it that it needs to create the content. So if you want to skip to the next slide, Sean, so the video of the tool running. So here you can sort of see it running. Oh no, there's one before that. We'll come to that. So here it is. So this is going to show what they get up. So it's going to tell them what the tool's for, first of all. And again, it gives us some prompts, what it's looking for. And then I think it goes through, I created a prompt and I copied and pasted it in, which is there. Took me a few hits to actually get it to do what I wanted it to for this. But here now, it's going to go through and it's going to generate that entire story for each of the rooms. And it gives the block of text that goes in, that gets copied and pasted into their worlds with the two choices there. And that's our selection. So they're clicking the button if it's this, and that will move the player around a bit like if you were reading the book, you would turn to page something else. And they've got all of that. So they'll create these games. There's all sorts of additional steps they've got to do, like reference where they're placing it within the game and everything else. But once they've made that, we set them an additional challenge, which is where Adobe Express comes in, which is right. This is going to be published as a book as well. So make the cover for it. So just let that play. You can see it's generated nice and detailed. If they were aiming it at a slightly younger audience, they could just tell it to reduce the amount of text. And that's really straightforward. It's set to about a grade 8 sort of US year 9 standard in the UK. But if they want to make it a bit younger or a bit more complex, they can do that. But here is the sort of the Adobe Express part of it. On the right-hand side of your screen, using the Adobe Classroom feature, which only went live in the UK, I think it was last week, I think, or thereabouts. Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
I've set up a room. Yeah, I've set just a room up for an entire year group on this, so it's all in, so we can really look at the difference. But it said, right, what you've got to do now is you've got to create the cover for it. And I've attached a blank template to that, which is set up to give them the front cover the spine and the back cover, totally blank. There's no other guidelines on it, but then they can use the tools in there. So I use the AI generator for the image. I did that in portrait, so I could get it to fill the whole thing, to generate a sort of a school that blends magic and technology. I used the add object to put the person in, so that the character wasn't there on the original one. That went in. I used the text, and I'm a big fan of the dynamic text option, where it sort of fills the space with it, making it sort of bigger or large. We got the spine, which is really sort of hard to see, but it was just the title put into one thing, and then the back again, another AI generated image. The big eye is to represent the sort of the AI in there, a bit reminiscent of HAL 9000 from 2001. And then with all the usual things, blurb about the book, a little title, a barcode, and any other elements that they want to put in there, and within the details in their workbooks and duplicated on the Adobe assignment. That's all in there. It's just great, and it's a really nice way to round it out, because as well as them being an interactive game and taking that like step forward into a 3D world where they've created a school for their things, we could actually, well, actually, we could just print them and they could just be a book. So, you know, why not make the cover for them? And Adobe has made that so much easier than anything else. And even when I demo it in the classroom, it's great to demo on an interactive screen or a whiteboard. It's so easy to just put it up there. A lot of the tools where you can drag and drop it. Yeah, it's great. And so that's my really quick example. You know, I didn't spend a great deal of time on that, but obviously the classes will be spending more than the 5 minutes on it that I took without actually writing things out. But I did use MagicSchool as well to write the blurb that's actually on the back of that book as well.
So innovative. Go on, Amber. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I love that he gamified student rooms. I think that that's the one thing that we are like also telling people is like, hey, it doesn't have to just be like answer, input, and output. It could be gamified. Like this is an escape room. You can do choose your own adventures. You can do all these different things. And so this is a great way for learning to still happen, but in a gamified way that you can now do within MagicSchool. So love that, Aaron, because it's such a great way for students to engage.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny because in developing the prompt for it, I didn't quite get it right straight away. So it actually did start out being a choose your own adventure within the prompt, which was great. But it's like, oh, that's not what I want.
Yeah, you gotta tweak it sometimes.
Yeah, but that in itself is amazing that you can do with it as well. It's, you know, have them develop their own custom tools, or, you know, write a prompt so it's going to allow them to play that game inside it. Based on the content that they feed it. You know, it could be a document that's attached or a story they've written somewhere else, and have it then turn that into that sort of adventure.
Yeah. And speaking of uploading things in there, I was just going to say that like you can even take this one step further, is because we now within the Magic Student platform, we have something called upload from phone, and it literally pulls up a QR code. They can scan things with their cell phones, their, you know, laptop, computer, whatever it is, and then it will upload it into the platform and read off of it. So you could upload this in there. It would read off of it and say, oh, I see that you've created this, you know, escape room from the enchanted AI and something, and it would pull all that information in for then the students to continue if they really wanted to, using that customized graphic or, you know, screenshot that they took or document. So love upload from phone. Check that one out.
There's our next webinar. And yeah, I was going to say on that, Amber and Aaron, yeah, one of the things I seem to remember you saying, Aaron, was that, you know, about enhancing creativity. And yeah, I definitely see, you know, using tools the way you've used them, that's enhancing creativity. It's not taking away, it's enhancing the imagination. Humans right at the center, the students right at the center. So kudos for that.
That's it. With the story, a lot of them say, oh, what I want to just write it. And it's like, tell him, so, you know, I totally appreciate that. It's like, we have to think about time. Remember, you know, that whilst the AI is effectively, it's connecting the dots, tell them the more detail they put in the prompt, give it all the specifics. You know, if you want something to happen within a specific room, tell it that. All it's going to do is basically put the connective tissue into it. They've written everything else. And just part of our wider thing, you know, the rooms that they've got access to for this, the student rooms, you know, all of their individual join links are fed back to them. So actually the tools that are in those rooms then persist for them. So they'll have access to those tools whenever they feel that it's appropriate to use them within sort of other subjects. And we'll sort of cycle tools, and that's something in the process of developing. But with AI being one of those huge technologies and it being integrated into so much, making sure that they have access to it all the time is really important. But linked to that it's guardrail, that you can see what they're doing, so we can make sure they're not trying to just pass off content as their own. And obviously that's important as well, and that's something they need to learn. But we're giving them sort of a safe space to do it in, really, which is important.
Yeah, well done, Aaron. That's amazing. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. You're a star. All right, so before we move on to another little demo at the end, we're just going to share some resources from Magic School here. To become part of the community. No doubt, I'm sure all this chat is already part of the Magic School AI Pioneer community. But yeah, if you really want to learn from folk like Aaron and Amber, ex-teachers, this is a really great place to be. To share and learn. And there's some great resources there too. And the same for the Adobe. We have the ACE leaders, and we feel like if anyone's creating with Adobe, they're an ACE leader, and we definitely want you in the community, and we want to build each other up and just share best practice and best tips. So thank you for sharing the PD resources, Amber. Right, with our last little bit, should we move on to the 12 days of creativity, Amber?
Yes, let's do it. I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of these.
All right, let's go. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 12, start off in the Magic School, the 12 days of creativity. Yay. Because we're going to create a snowman. Yes. So do you want to explain this a bit, Amber?
Yeah. I'll also explain a little bit of like what we did is that I looked at the 12 days of creativity that you guys have within Adobe Express, and there's some really cool templates in there. I'm like, how can we then extend this within Magic School? Just like what Aaron said, like, hey, we're building in Magic School, but now we're taking it within Adobe Express. So we're doing the same thing, holiday themed. And so I found that I've seen this actually at a conference I went to where somebody had built like a famous figures chat, like famous figures chatbot, and then they used it to actually go into Adobe Express, build out this character, and then do like a talking, character building scripts within Magic School. And I was like, this is a great idea for assembling a talking snowman. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to be able to create a snowman however you see fit when you get the template. It's already kind of built out for you, and you add your own flair to it, make it your own snowman, make it whatever colors, whatever content you want. And then you can add the animation within Adobe Express, but you may need some ideas on what animation like script you would use. You can talk off the cuff if you want to, but sometimes it's nice to polish it up, right? Come up with a cute story that you wanted to say. And so I've created a custom chatbot builder where you can then ask the questions to it, and it can build you a script on this snowman, whether it's his life, its story, maybe it's something else. You're going to be able to kind of combine your own creativity and storytelling within Magic School, and then take that script and read it right into Adobe Express so that your character can be animated and live. So fun, so cool.
Right, there's the challenge then. In the back end, can you be creating the script while I demo the talking snowman in Adobe? Yeah, how about that? Live on the fly. Yeah.
Oh God.
You in the background, so get a bit of a script. You can just make it up if you like. But you can use your chat.
I'll do my best.
All right. Okay. Right, I'm going to come off this prompt in Inspiro, and I'm going to click on the talking snowman. Live demo time. Hopefully it works. On the fly, actually. This wasn't planned. So assemble a talking snowman. Okay. That's not the activity. That's the my stuff. Oh no, I've been playing around with it earlier.
I think if you click on the actual snowman image on my slide deck, that should take you straight to Express.
Oh, cool. This one or this one?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Come on. Thank you for that.
Love a good embedded link. Saves so much
Yeah,
time.
look at that. Come on, please load.
One-stop shop, you know?
Yes. Oh, Amber. You're a holiday sensation. Thank you. So what I love about these activities in particular within Adobe Express as it loads, they're guided. So it's just such a great scaffold. And as an ex-forest school teacher, I just, children learn by play and scaffolding. So you let them play and just every now and again step in with a scaffold. And that's one of the great things about Adobe Express for Education is these guided activities on the side that just sit here, really professionally made. And just recently, we're in a class, a room of about 400 year six sort of girls, digital leader girls, and they all went through an activity just by using these steps. So it's an incredibly powerful tool. And so, I always come up with the ugly sweater. Amber, that one.
I love the ugly sweater.
Okay.
Make the sweater talk.
Okay, the ugly sweater. We're going to go with the ugly sweater.
Yeah, the ugly
I've
sweater.
I've not actually done this one.
Literally build it into whatever you want. I said that we could add some like different cultural elements, maybe you have different traditions in different places that you want to add in and look them up through Magic School.
All right, then. So if you click on the image here and then click on the generate image, there should be a sort of made prompt. And I'm probably preaching to people who know this tool really well. But as you can see, there's already a bit of a prompt there. So that's a scaffold, perfect for students. And all they have to do is just a little bit. So what should we go for here, Amber? It's currently a 3D penguin. Should we try something else?
Yeah, let's add something else in there. I mean, I'm trying to think. I love dogs. I would put a dog on my sweater if it was up to me. So.
Okay. All right.
Had a dog with a Christmas hat on it.
Dog. And a Christmas hat. All right. Xmas hat. Now, you are definitely going to have to go and try the snowman as well, because it's got the animated character, the lips. I'll tell you what, we can still do the lips, can't we? We can still do the lips on the dog. Should we go for that? All right.
A talking Christmas sweater. What else? What else do you need?
That is ugly, isn't it? Okay, perfect. All right. Let's go. We're going to keep this one, all right? Let's keep that. All right. Let's click off that. Bit slow. I'm going to go to Barbara Remover, as Meredith, my colleague, calls her. So there you go. Now, right within here, we can head to, and I'm starting to really slow down here, but we can go to media. And I'm going to click audio and build right within. We've got animate character, and this would be the same as the snowman one. All right. Let's say we're going to go for a talking dog, which is quite a bit weird, but let's go for it.
If my dogs had talked, that would be fine. So
playing around with this. Let's keep that one. You want the background transparent, and you can adjust the size. Now, the great thing about this is it's so inclusive for your students, for voice and choice, because there's so many different characters in here that they can choose from, and animals, you name it. So you can really unleash your students' creativity with this tool. And this also, I've not seen this anywhere else, this product. And it uses such powerful AI in the background from Adobe Podcasts. They've drawn it in. And we have a little magic button here, perfect for classrooms. Have you used this, Aaron? So this will enhance the speech. If you've got a really noisy classroom, that would just zone in on the student's voice and enhance their voice. But I'm just in my office today, so it would take too much away. So I'm going to leave that off. And let's give it a go. So I don't think I need a script, Amber. I'll just go for it. Hey, happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on Creative Classrooms with AI. Thank you to the awesome Amber and the awesome Aaron. This has been a really fab demo, really fun demo to be part of, and I'm wishing you a happy holidays. And I love this bit. So this bit takes a bit of time because there's so much AI happening in the background, and yeah, it's a good thing to train yourself to be patient. But I love my daughter just loves watching the little animations, like, so yeah, it's a cool part of our experimenting, mine and my daughter's, just creating some characters and then just watching the little things wiggle around. And actually it's not quite popping up. There's normally like a little cartoon at the bottom. For some reason it's not popping up today. So here we go. Have you seen this, Aaron, in action?
I haven't seen this in action. I was going to have a play around with the animate character the other day, but I ran out of time. And Podcaster Soul will be using that later on with some of the Key Stage 4 groups.
Nice.
They get to do some work to create podcasts for some of their coursework. So that'll be a really, really nice tool for them to use for that.
All right, here's my funny lips. I've just got to make it a bit smaller. Is it right there in that corner? I can't drag it. Come on. Oh, here we go. Right, found the corner at last. It's started really lagging. Come on, am I going to be able to do this?
StreamYard takes a lot of bandwidth. That's the hard thing.
Yeah,
a lot of bandwidth when you're doing this live.
StreamYard and
yeah, I've come across that a few times.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
yes.
On that, I'm going for an upgrade soon on my computer. Look at that. That almost fits perfect.
Love it.
All right, let's go there. It's going to be a bit of a skew with one. So let's zoom in a bit. Come on. Zoom in for me. Hide that timeline. Here we go. Oh, a little too far. A bit more. Okay. Are you ready? Hey, happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can't hear it. Creative Classrooms with AI. Thank you to the awesome Amber and the awesome Aaron. This has been a really fab demo, really fun demo to be part of, and I'm wishing you a happy holidays. So you couldn't hear it, could you?
No,
Aaron,
I could hear it.
Hear it, could you?
I could hear it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
I'm not sure anyone want to post it in the chat. You could probably see it, but could you hear it? It's very Wallace and Gromit. I didn't realize it was quite like a claymation style battle.
It's
so that's
amazing,
brilliant,
isn't it? The AI behind that.
Yeah,
sorry if I've traumatized everyone with those lips on the dog, but yeah. So what a tool that is, and yeah, to get your students playing around with on yourself. So, well, let's move on now. So coming to an end. Thank you so much. Oh, fab. Claire, you like that, did you? Thank you very much. I'm going to highlight that one.
They heard it.
Oh, awesome. Alyssa, I want to say that's Alyssa from Book Creator, but maybe not. Not unless she's made up a surname.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they will. Adults will love to play with this tool too. Right, we're just in time. I'm going to see if I can load this last slide before we sign out. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for joining us today, wherever you are in the world. Yeah, please do. Yeah, just reach out, get involved in the different communities, and yeah, and just keep pushing all the buttons and playing with these tools. And remember, yeah, it's a bit like the Wild West out there. So, and these tools are great. But yeah, definitely it's worth sort of focusing on the ones that are focused on education. And yeah, and another thing I've learned recently even is, even just getting most sort of educators just using EdTech still is still a challenge. So yes, focusing on more specific education focused tools is definitely the way forward. Now I'm all over the place with the slides, so I'm going to end it there. So thank you everyone for joining. We'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy Magic School. It's free. Join.
Yeah, go on.